A few days ago, one of my coworkers approached me with this Fisher stereo receiver. It's an RS-2004A. And he said he bought it new in 1980 or 81. He's been the only owner, and it's played fine all these years. And the other morning he got up, hit the switch, and nothing happened. The panel lights lit up, but that was it. No sound, no anything. And he thought maybe I could help him get it fixed. You know, I've fixed a couple of things for a couple of coworkers, and boy, once word gets around, the stuff just comes flying through the door, you know. I don't mind, because in return, you know, they've done a few things for me. So I told him, yeah, I'll see what I can do. I'll open it up, I'll take a look at it and see what I can do. Now, I've gone ahead and found a schematic for it online, lucky us. And I'll go ahead and open it up and see what we find, and spend a little time on the schematic, and I'll get back with you, and maybe we can fix it, maybe we can't. Alright, after poking around a little bit, you know, these are your two Darlington power packs, they call them. They're STK0050s. There's two of them. I found out that between pin 8 and 9, poking around with my multimeter, I found that there's a dead short between pin 8 and 9 on the left channel. From this point through here to here. Dead short. That thing is no good. And I also checked around on the outside of it, and I found a couple of problems. D15 is shorted. I have to order a new one of those. R39 is fried, completely fried. And R41 is supposed to be 39K. It's reading about 6K. So we're going to replace all those little jewels in here. And strangely enough, the transistor is good. At least it tests good. And the interesting thing is, where's that? Where is it at? Where are you at, baby? You're right here. It is here. This full-wave rectifier, which is attached to those two 6-amp fuses that just shorted out and fried. I mean, they didn't short out. They just fried out. Here are those two burned out fuses, 6 amps. Boy, I'll tell you what, they cooked good, didn't they? Look at that. Whoa! This is good. That's amazing. I couldn't believe it. That thing should have fried out with as much current as went through there. But it is a slow blow fuse. It probably took a long time, both this one and this one. Now, this, you take a look, you see, this says 6.3 and this says 0.8. That's wrong. These are actually 6 amp slow blow fuses right there and right there. Anyway, I went ahead and after I poked around inside and I found those things bad. You know, just following the schematic, I found them. They're just written on the board. You just test them out. Like there's D15, it's shorted. There's the fried resistor right next to it. Just completely fried out of it. Let me see if I can zoom in here. That wasn't very difficult to spot. That's just black and fried right there, completely. And after I ohmed out each of the pin connections, I went to the Antique Radio Forum and found out how to do that. That's when I came up with a short. Now, on the front here, I've got it written down, each of the, let me see here, let me show you how we did this here. Back up a little bit. There's the left channel. These are the readings, pin 0 to 1, 0 to 2, 3 to 1, 8 to 9, and 8 to 0. And I did the same thing for the right channel. And between 8 and 9, it showed a dead short. So right now, I'm going to take my little Hakko FR300, and we're going to extract the solder off all 10 pins of the bad Darlington power pack. Now keep in mind, it has 10 pins, but only 6 are used. 4 are dead pins. I'll show you that in a minute. Alright, the 4 pins that are not used are right in the center. 1, 2, 3, 4. They're not connected to anything. There's no runs coming up to them, no anything. So the 6 that are used are the 3 on the front, at the beginning, and the 3 at the end, okay? These are just but you have to solder them in for, you know, to give it stability, to give the power pack stability. Now I'm going to take the old FR300 Hakko, and I'm going to stick it on down there on each one of those little pins, and I'm going to extract the solder right off of them. When I'm done, I'll come back and show you what we got. Well, there we are. Every bit of solder is extracted from each one of these pads and each one of the leads. Now I'll go ahead and disconnect the power pack from the heatsink, and then there's 2 screws that hold it on, and then we'll have to bust it loose a little bit. I mean, because this heat shrink compound is just like glue. You have to kind of get something down there between it and wedge it out. And once we get that all done, we'll go ahead and clean it all up with alcohol and a brush. It'll look really nice, and get it ready for the new power pack when it arrives. Alright, I just took out the 2 screws holding this thing in. Let's see if I can wiggle it loose off the circuit board here a little bit. It should come out real easy like, since I removed all the solder. Probably going to take 2 hands though. Let me see if I can get that thing out here. There she be, folks. This is the Darlington power pack. It's about a 1/2 inch thick, and on the back it has a metal plate where you put your heatsink compound, where it fastens to the heat sink, that giant heat sink. I searched around till I found, an original OEM, made by Sanyo, 0050, because Sanyo was the ones that made these to begin with, and of course they no longer make them now, of course. And just beware of the cheap ones on eBay. Try not to use it. The cheaper it is, the worse it's going to be. You're not saving yourself any money. It might run 2 or 3 days and then quit. It may run 30 days and quit. You never know. But from everything I've read, they don't last very long, the cheap ones. Anyway, these are your 10 pins. 1, 2, and 3 are used, and 8, 9, and 10 are used in this receiver. And my short is between 8 and 9. The last thing I've got to do now that we have the power pack out, I've got to remove this diode right here, D15. I've got to remove R39, that burned resistor right there. And I have to take out this R41 that's changed values seriously by about 20,000 ohms or more. So I'm going to take my little old Hacko FR300, see if I can extract the solder and get those out of there too. Well, that's it. All the parts are out, and you can see that old burned resistor. Boy, that thing fried big time. Check that out, huh? And the one next to it, I figured it was pretty bad because the one end is real dark, and it looks to me like it's partially burned down in there. And I measured it, and sure was. And the diode, I just measured around till I found that it was shorted. So what we have to wait on to get here is the new power pack. And I ordered some of these diodes. Incidentally, DS442 is the number of the diode on the circuit board, but that now translates out or references over to 1N4148. So I had to buy 50 of those things for $3. So my friend who's going to reimburse me the cost, he's going to be stuck with 49 switching diodes, which doesn't bother me a bit. Okay, remember, this is the 1N4148, which that's the one I ordered, which will take the place of the original, which is what you're looking at here, which was DS442. Okay, and these are just standard resistors. I'll go ahead and replace, one of them being 39K and this one being 300 ohms. So we'll be back when we receive all the parts and I get them soldered back in. Alright, guess what? She's functional. We got it all fixed, to include the stereo light is even lit back up. I think my buddy, my coworker, is going to be very happy about his stereo being functional again. Like I said, it turned out to be those 3 resistors, 1 diode, and this Darlington power pack or audio amplifier, whatever you want to call it. And it's functional. Incidentally, for those who might want to know, I was able to buy this power pack from a guy up in Pennsylvania who refurbishes them. And I'll post the name of the guy on the internet, on the YouTube video before I get it uploaded. And I didn't know you could rebuild these things, but apparently this guy up in Pennsylvania did, and he only charged me like $14.99 to buy one. Heck of a deal. These things are in fact hollow and can be, let me turn on the light here so you can see what I'm talking about. There we go, that power pack you see right there. They're hollow and they can be refurbished. And that's one that's refurbished, and it sounds great. I'm very impressed. Well, that's it. Another success. I hope you got something out of it. Until next time, this is John. I almost forgot. I wanted to show you what the inside of one of these Darlington power packs looked like. I said they were hollow. and they are hollow. That's the inside of it right there. And this is what the original looked like. This was the one that was burned out. It consists of a couple of heat diodes, from what I understand, and 5 power transistors. So that's it. It's got a little circuit board, and it's sort of stacked up. I'm not exactly sure how that's made. Kind of an interesting setup. Just connects to the board and then down to the pins, and of course some of the pins broke off. That's about it. There's what your Darlington power pack looks like. The STK 0050.